And we are back with another episode of Straight Out the Lou. I'm Dylan, as always, joined by Luke and Chris. And today we have a special guest, Jack Linehan, Luke Linehan's brother. Jack, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So today we have a recap of the NFL Week 16. We have the Steelers outlasting the Colts, the Packers rolling the Titans last night on Sunday Night Football, the Browns choking to the New York Jets, who now have secured the number 2 pick, and the NFC East coming down to Week 17 for a champion of the division. Tonight we also have the Pats against the Bills, which we will preview, and the Niners had a big win yesterday, 2 days ago, beating the Cardinals in C.J. Beathard's first start of the season. Okay, Chris, the Steelers beat the Colts. I know that the Steelers were at the top of your list for the teams in the AFC earlier in the season. Obviously, they hit a rough patch over the last 4 weeks or so. Big win on Sunday, outlasting Phillip Rivers there. Big Ben making some good throws. What did you see out of this team, and what do you project them doing in the playoffs at this point?
Yeah, I wasn't as far down on Pittsburgh as everybody else was after these last few weeks. Their defense, as we saw in the second half, is still very good. And I was watching ESPN a few minutes ago, and Randy Moss was talking about, or Steve Young was talking about, how in the second half Roethlisberger was calling the plays and not the offensive coordinator. And we saw what happened in the second half. So I'd expect them to keep doing that. And, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's been kind of up and down this year. I'm not sure about some of these other AFC teams other than Kansas City. I mean, we'll see what happens with Buffalo, maybe a team like Tennessee. But, I think they can still make a deep playoff run. I like their roster. They're very talented. They have to start running the ball better, though. Their offensive line is absolutely horrible. Connor can't get anywhere. The pass protection isn't great either. But, they have a good defense. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I think they can go far.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Roethlisberger most days. You got a solid wide receiver core. T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick balling out on the defense, of course. The run game, I think, is obviously the biggest question for them. James Conner, Benny Snell, not looking great. The play calling, as Chris was saying, pretty questionable as Ben took over. Obviously came back from 24-7. Falcons-esque game from the Colts. One big takeaway I took away from that was Phillip Rivers. This guy's just not going to get it done. The arm strength just not there anymore. Really never was there. And even though the Colts have a great defense, I think the AFC is too loaded for this team to come out with a win. They're probably going to play Buffalo or Pittsburgh in the first round. And I think that's just a bad matchup.
I mean, the Colts, as of right now, they're the 8th team, right?
Yeah,
so
Browns are
going
to mess it up. The Browns will mess it up, miss the play.
The Browns have to play the Steelers, though, which is tough.
That will be a tough game.
I do think the Steelers now are pretty accurately ranked in the AFC, right around the 3rd or 4th team, and most likely will be on the road for a divisional game. I think the loss to Buffalo really hurt them more than the other ones. So we'll see. They're going to have to win on the road a couple times if they want to reach Super Bowl.
Yeah. For me, I obviously the league now is a quarterback's league. You don't have a great quarterback, you're not really going to get a lot done. But I don't see Big Ben really making a huge run with the rushing offense that the Steelers currently have. I mean, you have James Conner going for 30 yards yesterday, maybe. I don't know. He's not gonna win a shootout against the Patrick Mahomes or even a Josh Allen. So I'm a little worried about the Steelers. I think that the holes in their offense have really been sort of exposed over the last 5 weeks. Not a big Steelers fan. Haven't really been one all year. But I think it was obviously yesterday respectable win for sure. They needed that one. So last night, the Packers, a team that I've been proclaiming as a fake team all year, absolutely humiliated Derrick Henry and the Titans. Personally, I mean, I think it's a lock for Rodgers being the MVP at this point. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know if it's a lock, but last night really helped his case a lot with Mahomes struggling against the Falcons and him putting up pretty big numbers in a bad weather game. Him and Devontae Adams is one of the most unstoppable duos right now in the league. They're just clicking on all cylinders. I wouldn't go as far to say as I think the Packers are a fake team, though. I mean, obviously they were last year, as we saw. They got bailed out by having to play a bad quarterback in the divisional round, Russell Wilson. And then they had to play a real team with the Niners, who obviously just steamrolled them. But I think this year, I think the only team in the NFC that can beat them is Tampa Bay. And I think as we've seen them play these top teams in the NFC, they blew out the Saints. They handled their division. They've handled a lot of teams this year. I would say that if they avoid Tampa Bay, they have a really good chance of going to the Super Bowl.
I need to respond to that. So I noticed, I just noticed here in the plan that you just didn't include the Seahawks game. I wonder why here, because I'll tell you what, I'm about to get on my high horse about Russell Wilson. First of all, the Packers, I agree with Luke, Tampa Bay, and I'll add Seattle to that list of teams that can beat them. No. Seattle's defense is playing very well right now. And I'll tell you what, I've watched a lot of Tom Brady in my day, but what Russell Wilson did at the end of that game yesterday with that drive and that throw at the end of the game, that was one of the best drives I've ever seen. They drained the clock. He made some big throws. This guy, he's the best quarterback in the league. It's not even close. So I would say –
Who is?
Russell Wilson. If Seattle – I'm hoping Seattle or Tampa Bay comes out of the NFC, and I think they will. I think it's going to be either Seattle or Tampa Bay, and I'll be very happy if it's one of those two. By the way, Tom Brady. What a game for Tom Brady on Saturday. Just another great game for the greatest quarterback of all time, and they have a great chance to win the whole thing.
My concern with Seattle is still the O-line. I mean, yesterday, obviously the Rams have a very good defense, but
Dylan, it's funny how he wants to talk about yesterday's drive, but we don't talk about the one against the Cardinals in overtime.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
I mean, the Ducks are what, 11-4? I'm sorry, I have to apologize for Seattle being 11-4. And hold on. By the way, they have probably the worst roster in the entire division, and they won the division because their quarterback is so good. The Rams yesterday, Dylan, I'm sorry, Jared Goff sucks. He was so bad yesterday. He's not good, and because their roster is so good. Now they're in danger of missing the playoffs. Their defense is so good, but the quarterback for Seattle puts them over the top. That's why he's the best quarterback in the league.
Well, okay. Let's take a step back here. So yesterday, Jared Goff, that dude. I don't know if you guys saw the play where he dislocated his thumb and then popped it right back in and then was dropping dimes 2 plays later.
That interception,
okay?
Drew?
Warrior right there. But Seattle's defense yesterday really showed out. They were flying all over the field, looking really fast, really physical. I'm impressed with their secondary at this point. Obviously, the D-line's iffy, but the addition of Carlos Dunlap, I think since that he's joined their team, they're a top 5 defense or something like that. Dunlap has had a huge effect on that defense, given the secondary, not a lot of time. They don't have to cover for too long because he's in that backfield every single time. I don't know. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Seattle's defense as of right now. I think that they've really turned things around, and I agree with you, Chris. They have a shot at really making a run at this thing at this point.
Playing well at the right time.
Chris, Tampa or Seattle?
Who am I picking, or who do I want to win?
They played each other.
I mean, I'd be rooting for Tampa Bay. I think Seattle's a better team right now, though.
I'm not sure about that.
I think Seattle's a better team, but you know what? I'm not going to pick against Tom Brady in a playoff game. So I guess I would pick Tampa Bay. But right now, Seattle's playing a little bit better, I think, for what they've been doing all season. To what they're doing.
I think it's been a lot easier to defend the Rams now ever since after the Super Bowl where Bill just dominated them. I think teams understand, and when you have good safeties that are fast, like Blitz Boy, who's not great in coverage but can play on the line against the Rams when they run their 11 personnel, it's easy to stop them when you have good safeties, which Seattle does. They have Jamal Adams.
And the Rams don't have a quarterback, so.
That is true too.
Yeah. So yesterday the Browns hurt themselves a great deal with that, taking a loss to the New York Jets. I believe the Jets hurt themselves as well in that matchup. Baker Mayfield obviously at a disadvantage, missing his top 4 wide receivers. Pretty difficult to win without your top 4 guys. Nonetheless, he fumbled the ball 2 times in the fourth quarter to cement the win for the Jets. I was hot on Baker going into this week. He had a few pretty solid performances past 3 weeks. Going into week 16, he looked really solid. He was maybe creeping into my top 10 for quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay.
But where do you guys assess Baker right now? He's somebody I can't really figure out at the moment.
He's a C quarterback that can play like a B some games.
Yeah, he's barely a starter in the league, to be honest. It's the
he-
most talented. It's the most talented team in the NFL, and it has been for the last couple of years now. And it's just Choker Mayfield blows it every single time. We talk about how he didn't have weapons in there. Brady didn't have weapons for a whole year and still made it to the playoffs and came down to the final drive. So I don't really want to hear.
They did have the number.
They weren't
one
exactly
defense.
playing against the 2014 Patriots when they played the Jets, the team trying to lose.
Baker didn't choke in the Ravens game. They just kicked the Ravens went down the field in like 50 seconds, kick a game-winning field goal. He put together a 2-minute drive. Baker's looked pretty good the last couple weeks. Obviously, yesterday he looked very bad, but to say this guy can't be a starter in the league, that's a little harsh. He's like top 25, top 20 quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's solid. And I have a question.
25 close to backup.
Starter, though. I mean, it's not Herbert range.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have a question about the game plan here. I don't know how he throws the ball 53 times. They don't have their top receivers.
That's true.
Nick Chubb gets 11 carries. Like, what are they doing?
Nick Chubb at one point had 6 rushes for about 8 yards. The Jets were kind of stacking the box because they knew he had no one to throw to.
Still just you got to pound it because when your quarterback is he's okay. He's not an elite quarterback. You got to pound that's their strength. Their strength is running the ball.
Yeah, no, I mean their strength is definitely getting Baker out of the pocket and being creative with Kareem Hunt and then pounding with Nick Chubb, obviously. But you didn't have anybody to throw to with Baker out of the pocket yesterday. And Chubb couldn't pound the ball at all down their throats at all. So you're kind of left with one option.
I'm ecstatic. It's really looking like Justin Fields is going to be in the AFC East, and I'm very happy about that because that guy sucks.
I've been hearing talk that people think Zach Wilson's a better prospect at this point.
Yeah, he is.
The Jets will still take Fields.
Yeah, they'll take Fields. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not looking good for New York. Not looking good for New York. Tonight we have – actually, let's look at the NFC East for a little bit here. So, the football team, tough loss. Big move today. Big move today. Dwayne Haskins, no longer a football team player.
About time. As a fan of this team, it has been far too long for this guy to be given this leash. He sucks. It's too bad that Alex Smith was hurt, and hopefully he can come back this week. But this team, one of the best teams in the NFL, they will give anybody a run for their money, no matter who it is in the playoffs. I could see them making a Super Bowl run. They're an elite team, and hopefully they can beat the Eagles this week and win the division.
Well, the Cowboys, though, you can't really count out the Cowboys. Yesterday they had a great win against Philadelphia.
All we need to do is win out.
Andy Dalton's trending up.
All we got to do is win. We don't have to worry about the Cowboys. All we got to do is win.
Football team has the Giants, right?
They have the Eagles.
Okay.
I will say quickly about the football team. For a team that has just been, as an organization, in total disarray for years on end now, they actually have started to turn it around a little bit this year. First of all, drafting Chase Young looks like to be a slam dunk home run. And then, they had to go through all the stuff during the offseason with the name change and the owner and all that. But I will say to pay $15 right now in the middle of a pandemic to cut a 15th pick overall shows that they're willing to say that we made a mistake and we're moving on as a franchise. I think the timing is very interesting going into the last week of the year because they easily could have held on to him and they would have had to pay him anyway.
It looks like
an
move
organization
shows
is starting to take
they don't need him
accountability.
they don't need him going out to the strip clubs anymore and infecting too, so.
Exactly. Yeah. I will also with Rivera too. They really seem to be turning around, and they were a laughing stock as late as August.
Yeah, bouncing off that, Ron Rivera with this move really establishes himself as the lead man in the franchise. He's the one who's everybody's following him.
Great hire.
Everybody's following in line behind him. Obviously, Haskins wasn't his pick, but the front office was okay with him making that move and cutting him, which says great things about the coach, obviously.
I really hope the football team gets in because they can actually give a good team a little bit of problems if they actually make it into the playoff, whereas the Cowboys would just get blown out because we've seen them play good teams and they just get hammered. So I feel like the football – go, Chris.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say part of me thinks that out of nowhere this is just going to end up being the 6-10 Giants somehow getting in because the NFC East needs a 6-10 team to win division. the way this has gone all year, and they still have a shot, and they're at 5-10 right now. So
My pick's going to be the football team. I have to ride with the football team.
Rolling with the football team.
You got to roll with the young weapons. McKissick, McLaurin, they're solid.
Terry.
Antonio Gibson, solid team. D-line
top 5
solid.
quarterback Alex Smith.
I would take Alex
Playmakers
Smith over
and
Cam
strong
Newton.
D-line. Keys to success.
Great.
So tonight we have the Pats playing the Bills. A showdown in Foxborough. Big implications for the Bills. Pats looking to play spoiler. I know, Jack, you like the Pats tonight, right? Chris,
I got
Luke,
New
you
England
guys
tonight.
don't?
Yeah, of course.
I think New England's going to play a good game tonight. I don't think they're going to come out with this win. I think Buffalo's going to be coming out hungry. I think they truly believe that they own this division now, even though it's like the first time they've won in like 35 years. But I think they truly think that this is their time. If they beat the Patriots on their own turf, that they can solidify themselves. Because, I mean, they've been, the Patriots 4 times since the Brady Belichick era. I mean, it's an absolute embarrassment what the Patriots have done to them. I think they got to come out hungry tonight. They got to be ready to go. They need this home field advantage against Pittsburgh. They got to get this game, and the Patriots need to lose this game to go down in the draft order.
Yeah, I agree. You said big implications for the Bills. I would say big implications for the Patriots tonight because they need to lose this game. Great move by Belichick starting Cam Newton because we need to give ourselves the best chance to lose the game. So that's a great move. Gilmore's not playing, not great that he's hurt, but it helps
the cause.
losing the game. Yeah, he's doing it for the cause. So good work there.
I don't think he is.
It's for the cause.
I'm not happy. I was hoping they could fake some COVID results for J.C. Jackson and some other players that they have. Maybe Belichick. But, they need to lose this game. It's a must lose.
I completely disagree. I honestly don't think that losing this game really affects them that much. We were talking at some of the numbers, and they'd only drop them about 3 places in the draft, most likely. So I think it's more beneficial for them to go out and win. Belichick has too much pride to lose at home to Buffalo. And I also, quickly on Gilmore, I do think we've seen him wear a Patriots jersey for the last time. I don't think he'll ever suit up again for New England Patriots. I think the Patriots have actually blown this situation drastically. He should have been gone last April before the draft. And the fact that they kept him around, they were playing a game of, who's going to blink first for the whole first half of the year. And now that he's hurt in a game, in an injury that didn't look like all that much, I would be shocked if he's back with New England.
Well, I disagree. There's no reason to dump him. You're just trying to start a rebuild as fast as you can. Why would you dump
draft picks? Well, they've blown it. So
yeah. Well, we're great at drafting players. That'd be awesome. Thank God we get another draft pick.
Well, you guys are talking about draft spots, and the difference between 3 spots. This is why I say it's a must-lose game. It's the difference between Mac Jones and Kyle Trash. So I mean.
Oh yeah. Is it, dude?
It's right there. They need a better quarterback.
Well, they won't be drafting a quarterback in the first round.
Well, if they don't,
they're going to trade down anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But if I hope they take Mac Jones, that's my guy. That's what I want to take.
Keep Kyle Pitts
in the first round. Oh boy. I don't know.
Okay, Jack. You think the Patriots have a good shot tonight?
I think the Patriots have a great shot.
Keys to them winning the game. Keys for them to winning.
Controlling the clock and ball control. It came down to Newton's inside the red zone fumbling the ball up in Buffalo. I'd be shocked if the game isn't as close as it is today. I think if New England can limit the big plays, it's most likely going to be Jackson on Diggs. So if everyone else can cover, hopefully the McCourties have their heads on straight and they don't give up any explosive plays and keep Allen in the pocket, which I think they will. They have a lot more speed up front when they're playing these young guys in Uche and Jennings and Winovich. So they'll be able to run down Allen. Hopefully he's not running all over the field. But, yeah, if New England controls the ball, controls the clock, plays a smart game on special teams, I would be shocked if this is not a close game in the fourth quarter.
I think it's going to be a close game. I just think the Bills are they've hit their stride and they're going to the playoffs and they need this game.
Well, let's remember too, the offensive coordinator of the Bills is Brian Daboll and has worked with New England for a long time as well as Saban. So, to act like this is going to be a cakewalk is, I think, ridiculous unless New England tries to throw a game.
I've continued to say this is going to be a close game.
It is, yeah.
And it's going to be a close one, but I think the Bills are going to pull it out because we just don't have the firepower to win close games.
Yeah, there's nobody to close out on the Patriots offense. No closer.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We'll see how it comes down to. This year, it seems like New England's ended up with the ball in Cam Newton's hands at the end of these games. So hopefully, it's the
Always
reverse, and
poorly.
New England's defense is on the field to end the game.
I think that's good on the Pats. We'll see how it happens. We'll see what happens.
49ers on Saturday, great win as mentioned earlier. Cliff
home field,
Kingsbury
too.
on our home field in Arizona, in Glendale. Cliff Kingsbury cemented himself as one of the worst play callers in the
Thank you.
NFL, going
Thank
forward on fourth down 4 times during this game, and somehow thinking that after getting it the first 3 times, he would get it the 4th time with a play he had run 2 out of the last 3 fourth downs. Again, trying to get Kyler Murray.
It doesn't make sense to me, their offense. They don't get Hopkins the ball, and it just makes no – they don't give it to him until late. Like, what are you doing? Throw those 50-50
They put too much
balls
pressure
early.
on Kyler Murray when he has an elite superstar right outside in DeAndre Hopkins. They try to put way too much pressure on Murray to make plays.
They make these games way too close for themselves. They could have blown out so many teams this year, and they could have put up points so early in the game, and they just, refuse to. And they don't manage the clock well. It's a disaster.
Give credit where credit's due. Robert Saleh did a great job with the defense.
The Niners had a great day. Yeah, the Niners.
Shane Verrett showed that Richard Sherman won't be missed. Shane Verrett's going to fill that cornerback 1 spot perfectly. Fred Warner, best linebacker in the NFL. Huge day. Secured the W with a big tip pass in the 4th quarter. I'm really hot on the Niners next year. I know Shanahan said that today. He said that Garoppolo is most likely going to come back and be our starter. Okay. There's some limitations there, but if you bring Bosa back, he stays healthy. Kittle stays healthy next year. You have Jalen Hurd, a guy who we haven't seen in the regular season yet.
Hopefully Debo can play some games.
Debo, Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Give me Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, a healthy Nick Bosa, a healthy Fred Warner. I mean, it sounds like another playoff push. It sounds like another deep playoff run. And another big takeaway from Saturday. C.J. Beathard, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 fumble at the end of the first half. At the end of the first half, that didn't really matter. Takeaway from that, in order to win in Shanahan's offense, all you have to do as a quarterback is limit your turnovers. You really have to limit your turnovers.
He's their best quarterback. They should trade Garoppolo. He's their best quarterback. And you keep talking about a playoff push. I just don't – maybe, there might be a playoff team. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Walmart Jared Goff as your quarterback. And Garoppolo is just limited.
Jared Goff isn't their quarterback, so I don't think he's going to have any problems with that.
No. Walmart Jared Goff.
Dude, Jimmy G's better than Jared Goff, dude. This is unbelievable. Your hate for Jimmy G's unbelievable, dude.
Sucks. He's not good.
John Lynch is catered.
He's not bad.
He's bad.
No, he's not.
John Lynch has catered this roster to Jimmy Garoppolo's limitations perfectly. He has some of the best yards after catch receivers in the NFL on this roster. And George Kittle, Debo, Ayuk.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts that same guy. What's that?
When you want that anyway?
Well, these aren't guys who you're not really going to have go down the field and go up for 50-50
I think the Garoppolo
hate.
I think the Garoppolo hate. I mean, this is from a New England perspective, but I think it's really just overblown in San Francisco. I would not be shocked to see Matt Ryan end up in San Francisco in the offseason. I think that's a very realistic possibility. But it's to the point now where they have to start looking at Shanahan, and all these quarterbacks just seem to not be able to get it done in the 4th quarter. He's now on his 4th one. So
I disagree. I agree with the part about the 4th quarter play calling. The fourth quarter play calling get a lot better with Shanahan. But Dylan's got a case that you can really throw any quarterback in there that's not turnover prone. Like a Kyle Trask going through 5 interceptions, he could thrive in that system. Like, all you got to do is be able to hit your short passes, hit your stick routes, hit your curls, and move the ball. You got a great run game. You got a great offensive line. You got guys that can break tackles.
Of course, but we've seen now multiple times that you can't win a championship that way. So, maybe there has to be some sort of examination on Shanahan's part. I think it's great that they've kept that defensive coordinator. I was surprised he didn't get a job last year, but they'll see if we can keep him again this offseason.
You have teams like the Broncos when they beat the Seahawks. That was a team that didn't really have like a big game offensively, but they still rolled them. I think.
No,
I
but
think
they had elite playmakers. They had Percy Harvin. They had Doug Baldwin. Those guys were electric. You know, like I'm not saying that.
When the when the Broncos rolled the Seahawks, wasn't that? No, the Seahawks rolled the Broncos. Was that?
Yeah, I know what you're
Other way
talking
around.
about.
Other way around. I bet.
The Niners will be good next year. I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
They will be a solid team. All right, should we go into our next segment here?
Why not?
So we have a special segment today, the NBA player mock draft here. Luke, would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, so basically we're going to be in a little snake fantasy draft, and we're going to see who can draft the best team with starting 5 and 2 bench players with the guard and the forward. Dylan holds the first pick in today's draft, followed by Jack, then myself, and Chris picking last with the 4-5 slot. So be interesting to see. I know Chris is eyeballing Kyrie Irving as one of his top picks for this draft. So hopefully he goes before 4 because I know he's high priority. So Dylan's got the first pick.
Clarification here. Are we building a team to win just this season or for the long run?
For this season. So
Okay,
like right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. With the first pick here, I'm going to have to go with Kevin Durant.
Oh,
Best scorer in the league.
wow.
I think he's shown that he hasn't really lost a step with his Achilles injury, and I want a guy who can get a bucket whenever he wants one. So
Are you gonna play him at the 4 or are you gonna play him at the 3?
We'll see how the draft plays out, but most likely at the 3.
Put him on your roster.
I will put him on my roster right now.
Interesting. Okay, I thought for sure you were going to take someone other than Durant. So the second pick, I'll take Kawhi Leonard.
This is a joke, right? This is a joke. I mean, I'm taking LeBron James right now. That's an absolute joke. I mean, come on. This guy is the best player in the league. Come on. All right, Chris, you're up.
He's up there, but it depends what you're looking for.
All right. I'm going to take Curry, and I guess I pick after that too. So I'll take Anthony Davis.
Good picks there from Chris. I think with my next pick, I think I'm going to go with Luka Doncic. Pretty high on Luka Doncic this season as they blew out the Clippers last night.
Interesting. I'm going to go with a guy that has been slept on, I think, a little bit over the last couple of years, but was a beast in the playoffs last year. Joel Embiid.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
He looked really good in those 4 games.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the actual best
He's
center.
the only good player on that team.
I'm going to take the actual best center in the league, somebody who is a sleeper MVP pick this year in Nikola Jokic. I think that's a no-brainer. And do I get another pick here?
You're back on the clock, yeah.
Let's go. Give me Giannis. Give me Giannis at my 4.
Dylan's team looking really strong out of the gates. Jack is back on the clock.
Yeah, I think this one's a pretty easy pick. I'll go with Jason Tatum.
Oh God.
That is one of the worst
Whoa.
picks.
Oh God. Oh
Whoa.
God. So yeah,
Whoa.
I have a question about your team actually.
Sure.
Will you
Leonard
be?
Embiid, Tatum.
Oh yeah, but like the last play of the game, are you gonna just give it to Tatum? He could take a 35-foot step back 3 down by 1.
It wasn't far enough away. I'd like to see him closer to half court,
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
ideally,
Yeah.
and a bank shot too.
Yes.
I mean, this is an easy pick for me at 3. I mean, everyone in the world knows who I'm going with here. My guy, the dog, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets. Got to take him off the board there. And Chris is on the clock now.
All right. So you have this point guard, shooting guard. Can I draft 2 point guards and play them at 1 and 2?
Yeah, depend. Yeah.
All right. I'll take Damian Lillard.
That is a
I'll play him at the 2.
interesting
And-
pick.
Oh boy, we're getting into it now. All right, I'll take DeMontis Sabonis.
A bonus? Wow.
Oh boy.
I'm playing Anthony Davis at the 5, by the way.
Okay, so you're playing Sabonis at the 4, Davis at the 5.
So
All
at
right,
this
so
point, I think my team's probably 10 times better than all of your teams.
Hey, we're not done with the draft here yet. Like, let's relax here. So I need a big guy. As I look at it, I got a lot of facilitators on my team, more than I would have liked. So we're gonna need a big guy that can score the ball. Give me Karl Anthony Towns. The guy can score, shoot threes. Good player.
Is this me?
Jack, you're on the clock.
Perfect. Kyrie Irving.
Damn.
It's a good pick.
Damn. Okay.
Him and his buddy Tatum.
Let's see here. I got back-to-back. I need some guards. To join Durant and Giannis. Let's see. Give me Jamal Murray. And give me Devin Booker.
Very good backcourt. Big Kentucky guy here.
Yes, sir.
And Jack's back on the clock.
Yeah. So this is the end of my 5. I'm gonna go with not the fat guard, but I'm gonna go with Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal for Jack to end his starting 5.
Harden's still on the board.
Harden's still on the board.
I thought about it. Luke won't take him.
All right.
Very tempting. Chris, I'm on the clock.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Very tempting here between the young guy and one of the guys that had his coming out party last year and Bam Adebayo, but I think I'm going to stick with my pick here, and I'm going to go with Zion Williamson.
For a win-now team, that's an interesting pick.
You know, I agree, but I think looking at my team, I think I have a lot of facilitators, and Zion adds a lot to my team, getting down and dirty, running hard, running the floor with LeBron.
It's code for every bad team.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll take Jaylen Brown to start at my 3 here, and then I will take James Harden as my 6th man.
So it's James Harden coming off the bench for Chris.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm back on the clock here. I think this is a no-brainer pick right here. Give me Donovan Mitchell. Guy just went off in the playoffs. Great player, electric player. I'll take Donovan Mitchell for my bench. Jack, you're on the clock.
We're really getting into it here. So for my first bench player, I think I'm gonna go with Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
Brandon Ingram.
Easy. This is easy. 6-man here in CP3. And then my 7th pick here. Give me Bam.
Pick.
That's my 7.
Jack's on the clock for his final pick.
Yeah, for my 7th pick, I think I'll take. We'll go with a shooter. We'll go with Trae Young.
Pretty young for Jack to finish it off. I need another big guy here. Definitely was looking at Bam and Brandon Ingram for my next pick, which sucks. But I think even though he's injured right now, I think I'm going to have to take Kristaps Porzingis. He can stretch the floor, shoot it from all over. Good defender. I think that's a good pick. Chris with the final pick of the draft.
Yeah, my last pick, I'm going to take Pandemic P, Paul George, to round out my team.
And I have 2. You're going to play him at the 3?
Off the bench? Yeah, he can be a forward on the bench, yeah.
All right, so Team
End up
Dylan.
the best team.
Team Dylan consists of at the 1, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker at the 2, Kevin Durant at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Jokic at the 5, and CP3 and Bam off the bench. It's a very strong team. Jack's team ends with
How strong is this one?
a lot of scoring on this team with Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard, and Joel Embiid with Brandon Ingram and Trae Young. There's only one basketball.
The Lakers want this team.
A lot of scoring. My team consists of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, Zion Williamson, Donovan Mitchell, and Kristaps Porzingis. Don't think it was my best draft. A lot of facilitators, but we still got a lot of scoring there. 2 elite players in Doncic and LeBron, obviously. And then Chris coming with the 2-point guard look with Steph Curry, Damian Lillard. Jaylen Brown at the 3 with Sabonis at the 4 and Anthony Davis at the 5. James Harden and Paul George off the bench. The bench looks good for Chris, but I'm not sold on the starting 5. If I were to have to say, I like my team a lot. I'm going to let the fans decide who we see comes out on front. But Dylan's got a great team, well-balanced team. My problem with your team, Jack, is, just so many scorers. Like, every single one of these guys is a scorer.
I forgot scoring's not how you win the game, apparently.
No,
you don't have to score more points.
I'm just saying. And then I feel pretty good about my team, and Chris's team's good. I think it was a pretty solid draft.
We'll have to let the people decide on the Instagram polls.
Exactly.
All right, I think that'll do it for this episode. Jack, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you will be back on soon. Chris, Luke, until next time.